Hello dear family, it is a pleasure for me to be with you once again with a new and exciting colorimetry class. Today I am going to show you in detail, step by step, how you can carefully select the correct dye depending on the specific type of reflection you need and the desired outcome. So stay in this video because you are going to learn how to select the correct dye and read the color chart. There are many various lines of dyes available on the market, and all of them have their color reference chart, and in all of them we will also find the same numbering. For natural tones, these are indeed the natural colors, free without reflections. In my salon, I use 3 lines that have personally given me good results. These are Bella's full name, which is given as German, L'Oreal, which is French, and Revlon, which is American. Why did I stick with these 3 lines? The answer is because these companies develop their products based on the Latin market. I know that Bella and L'Oreal are definitely European, but they also, importantly, manufacture their dyes for both the European and Latin American markets, because remember that the pigmentation of Europeans is ash-based. That is why when European women, who often have a naturally lighter hair color, apply an ash blonde dye, it looks exceptionally beautiful on them because their base color is ash. Very different from us Latinas, whose pigmentation or underlying tone when bleaching is red. Therefore, in order to achieve tones completely free of unwanted red or copper reflections, we sometimes have to bleach. That is why we cannot use dyes made in Europe on Latinas, because we will not have the same durability in the coloration process. Definitely. We are going to start identifying the colors in the range. I mentioned that all companies have their natural tones. Those tones that don't have reflections, I'll show them to you. Let's begin. These tones, which you will see in all ranges, are as follows. 1 is black, 2 and 10 are a blue-black, 3 is a dark brown, 4 is a medium brown, 5 is a light brown, 6 is a dark blonde, 7 is a blonde, 8 is a light blonde, 9 is a very light blonde, and 10 is a very, very light blonde. These tones are commonly used in various contexts and are important to understand. These tones are indeed the natural tones that you will naturally find in all lines, in all various ranges, in different contexts. I recommend these tones when you want to achieve a shade that has a completely natural concentrate, seamlessly blending with your natural hair color for a subtle yet effective enhancement and a truly natural look and feel. If you have clients or you yourself have a lot of gray hair and want to apply a dye that provides the best coverage, these dyes that I am going to show you are absolutely ideal for your needs. Indeed, for sure. At Revlon, we know them as truly supernatural phenomena starting from 5 onwards. In our experience, they are incredible. These tones are ideal for touch-ups on gray hair or full applications with gray hair, and they work wonderfully even with persistent gray strands. However, we must be careful because they come with a higher amount of pigment, which is why they provide better coverage. If you look at the numbering, it says 5SN. After the number comes SN, which indicates that it is a special dye for gray hair application. Something you should take into account is that if you are going to apply at the level of a 7SN, you should apply an 8SN so that it looks like a 7SN, because these tones are darker. Alternatively, you can combine half of 7 and half of 8SN. Understanding the interaction of tones is crucial. This approach ensures consistency. Believe me, with these tones you will definitely, absolutely achieve a much more complete gray coverage. Remember that it starts from 5. Since these are dark tones, it starts from 5, and 5 would be a 4 and so forth. 5 SN, 6 SN, 7 SN, 8 SN, 9 SN, and it goes up to the level of 9 as well. With these tones, gray hair gets a very cool and appealing color, and sometimes there's often no need to use auxiliary techniques or additional methods. Just simply keep in mind that if you want to get a 6, apply a 7 SN, so you won't be surprised and wonder why it turned out darker than expected. Because these tones have a higher amount of pigment and are made to cover gray hair. Let's simply continue with the ashy tones. You will definitely and easily find the ashy tones with the 0.1 number. Ashy tones start from number 4, as the ashy tones reflection is not very noticeable at lower levels. This reflection slightly darkens your hair just a bit more. These tones are the ones that will help you completely eliminate those copper reflections and tones, and you will find them starting from number 4. This is a 4 and 11, which is a specific hair color code. When you find double numbering of 0.1, it indicates a higher intensity of ashy brown. It means there is a higher concentration of ashy reflection, resulting in better neutralization of undesired tones. These undesired tones could be copper or red, which are common issues in hair coloring. We also have 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, and 10-1, for example, indeed. 1 and 9, 1 and 10, 1. On the color wheel, they are various shades of blue tones, as you can see, and they help us neutralize different types of orange or copper reflections. It is important that if you want to neutralize an orange or copper reflection, you go to the range and look for the blue reflection, and you will find it, the blue reflection with 0.1. So we will definitely find the ashy reflection, clearly starting from natural tone number 4 in this process. If you notice, the ashy reflection has the 1, and you will indeed find that it is a distinctly blue reflection, clearly, definitely. This reflection will help me in order to effectively neutralize a copper or red reflection. So, if you want to neutralize a red reflection, if you have a level of 6.4 and want to neutralize that red reflection, you will actually apply a 6 with an ashy reflection, which would indeed be a 6.1. Remember, it is extremely crucial to keep in mind that the 0.1 reflection is particularly ashy and will indeed eliminate copper and red reflections. When you want to apply or remove a copper reflection, a red reflection, you will go to the range and look for the specific level you are at, such as brightness or contrast. If you are at level 7, a 7 with a copper reflection, you will apply a 7-1. And with this, you will neutralize the copper reflection. It is important to know that warm tones with a red or copper reflections brighten the skin more. When you apply an ashy tone, it feels like the hair has darkened slightly, a bit more. If you find yourself with a naturally occurring tone with 11, it indeed means it is indeed an iridescent ashy tone with a higher amount of ashy tone. What does this actually tell us? If we have a copper reflection or a very difficult red reflection that is extremely challenging and complex to neutralize, we need to look for a tone at the same level, and that has 11. With this, you will neutralize it. We go to the range and look for it. What tone does it have? Would you like notifications every time I upload a video? It's very easy. You just have to simply subscribe and hit the bell, and to get notifications. On Tuesday in June, we go with a shade of 2, which is an iridescent violet or violet hue that shimmers beautifully under the light. As we already know, that violet effectively neutralizes unwanted yellow reflections and tones in hair. If we combine an ashy tone with violet, it will neutralize the copper or red reflection, but it will do so in a gentle way, and we will get a blonde or brown with a slightly warm reflection. The 0.2 starts from the natural level 6. If you observe here, we have it. 6 and 12, 7 and 12, 7, 2, 7 and 32, 727, 0.32, approximately, essentially. This reflection will help us achieve a slightly more ash-like coloration, but with a warm tendency, which means it won't darken the hair as much as it would when we apply an ashy tone to the hair. Let's go with 0.21. These are the pearly violet tones. This will help us neutralize yellow reflections, and we already know it also neutralizes orange reflections. This reflection is ideal for eliminating warm reflections and thus giving the most natural look possible to the coloration. For example, if you have a level 10 bleach and you have a bit of yellow reflection and you want it to be a slightly silver blonde, this is the reflection you should use. Also, in Revlo L'Oreal, you will find tones with violet reflection. These are ideal for neutralizing colorations that have too much yellow reflection. The ashy tone darkens us by slightly half a tone. When we combine ashy tones with violet tones, the combination of these two distinct tones still gives us a warm reflection that won't darken much. This warm reflection is subtle and natural, but it does so without that pronounced copper or red hue that can sometimes be undesirable in certain hair colors. I highly recommend this tone because it truly results in absolutely very beautiful colorations. If you combine either 0.12 or 0.21, regardless of the tone level, you will get very cool colorations and shades, and you will find the 0.2 starting from level 6, such as, for example, the ashy reflection and the pearly or violet reflection can be found in numerous various different diverse and incredibly diverse combinations. It can be 0.13, which is a golden ashy. This will help us significantly when we want to tone down a blonde hair color with a slight copper reflection, but we want to keep the beautiful golden hue and shine. The 13 is ideal for neutralizing that tone and leaving it with a beautiful warm tone, the 22. I particularly love this tone because when we achieve blondes and want to eliminate that chick yellow reflection, you can eliminate it with this reflection. The 22, which is a deep violet reflection, is a slightly violet gold color that has a hint of purple and some blue tones. When you want to keep the beautiful and shimmering golden reflection, but eliminate that unwanted and unattractive yellow hue that you don't like, you will use the 32. 0.12 is used when you have a copper or red reflection in your blonde color, and it also looks yellow. This specific shade is particularly effective in such cases. You will use 0.12 because, firstly, there needs to be a higher concentration of ashy tones to eliminate the red hues, and then violet tones to soften the yellow shades. The ashy tones work by neutralizing the red, while the violet tones counteract the yellow, resulting in a more balanced and natural-looking blonde color. The 23 is for when you want to slightly eliminate a very pronounced yellow and leave a softer yellow, a soft golden. This product is specifically designed to help you achieve a more subtle, and the point is when your coloring has a slight copper reflection and you want to eliminate it, and the 0.1 is for when the copper reflection is very pronounced. With this, you neutralize it. So, you will find the golden, violet, and ashy tones in this way across the various different ranges, shades, and nuances you are familiar with and accustomed to. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the point 3, which is the golden tone. If you observe closely and carefully and meticulously, it comes combined with ashy, violet, as well as with mahogany, red, and copper. You will be able to find this tone starting from approximately level 4, 3, 5, 3, 5, and 34, 3, 5, 34, such as, which is what I was telling you, comes combined with a copper 5 and 35, combined with a mahogany on March 6. It also comes combined with ashy 631, 634, 6, and 35. The golden tone, which is a basic hue of color shade, like a wild card that comes combined with all of the highlights. It harmoniously combines with all the highlights because it is an incredibly warm tone that beautifully helps us give a very shiny reflection to the hair. The 3 tones are warm tones. Many clients do not like cool tones. These are ideal for them. Also, if you have very cool bleaching, these highlights can make it warmer. If you want to cover gray hair and don't have the supernatural dyes, which are often hard to find and expensive, I recommend using half natural dye and half dyed with a golden reflection for the best and most natural looking results. With this, you will achieve better coverage of gray hair, and it is the point 3. So the golden tone is point 3. It is a shade that we will find mixed with the entire range because of the light it gives to the hair. Coppers, which are a type of metal, range from level 4 up to level 9. When you find one marked with 44, it means that particular copper is exceptionally intense. Do you really like dark violet tones? Perhaps that beautiful shade that looks somewhere between violet and wine? I just want to tell you that these are indeed actually the mahoganies. They range from level 4 to level 8. You can find them as a 745, a 465, a 565, 845, 565, 845, among other combinations such as these. We will find red highlights starting from a base tone number 4, which is a medium brown shade. You can find it combined with other tones or with a single highlight. For example, 465, 646, 665, 5 and 56, 7 and 45, 666, 5, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 6, among other tones. And if you find one that you happen to come across that has approximately 66, it means it is a very intense red color. This has a higher amount of red, and therefore you will get better coverage. The super light blondes 0.1223 help us to add tone to bleached hair. They will help us tone and give a neutral shade in the coloring. The super lightening dyes are specially formulated to help us achieve even greater lightening in a variety of natural tones, including the 1200, which is a natural shade, the 1201, which is an ashy shade, the 1202, which is a platinum shade, the 1231, which is a beige shade, and the 1232, which is a pearly golden shade. These dyes are designed to provide superior results and ensure a consistent, high-quality finish. These dyes help us lighten up to 4 shades on natural base hair and are mixed with a 40-volume cream developer, providing optimal results and a professional grade finish. Color intensifiers. Many of you have asked me repeatedly how to get them and what they are like in detail. These are the ones I add to the dye to achieve purer tones. And there's the iridescent ashy one, which is the one I use the most because it has ashy with violet. This helps me eliminate yellow highlights. The 200 is a violet shampoo designed to intensify and enhance those violet tones in your hair that you want to make stronger and more vibrant. This one is ideal for achieving that perfect look. The 600 is specifically for effectively enhancing and intensifying natural copper tones. At the moment, fantasy shades are incredibly super trendy, and the best part is that regardless of your age, you can absolutely rock a fantasy shade and it looks absolutely beautiful. In this chart, you will find them ranging from the band, which is a pink, the blue, which is a 190, the violet, which is a 200, the yellow, which is a 300, the mandarin, which is a 400, the 500, which is a purple red, the 600, which is a fiery red, and the 700, which is a green. So if you like these shades, such as these various different colors, especially don't hesitate to apply them. Remember that you can apply them directly on bleached hair if you want the tone to be more intense. If you want a pastel tone, you can dilute it with 10 volume cream developer, such as a bit more to achieve the desired effect. Thank you, dear family, for joining me in this video. If you liked it, please let me know so I can keep making videos like this especially for you. Sending you a big hug and many blessings.